You ever heard the term farm tuber? I hadn't either. But as it turns out, farmers are vlogging their daily lives in the fields, and it makes for really compelling content. One of the biggest is Millennial Farmer. Zach has made 390 videos. He has 760,000 subscribers. He gets around 400,000 views per video, and he uploads around 3 times per week in season. Let's hear the story of YouTube creator Millennial Farmer. Hey Zach, there's a term I learned at work that I had never heard before in my 15 years of being around YouTube, and it was farm tuber. I saw some of your videos and I was totally mesmerized. It all made sense. The machinery is so interesting. The trucks, the tractors, there's weather, there's drama. Can you tell us why you started the channel to begin with in regards to running your family farm?
I started it 100% to relate to consumers about what happens on the family farms in America today. I was seeing a lot of information about farms and about farming that, you know, there was a little bit of truth to it, but the whole entire facts were not there. The reasons that we use, the management practices that we use, was not there. And so there's a lot of misinformation out there about agriculture and, you know, why we treat livestock the way we do and why we use genetically modified seed and why and how we use pesticides and insecticides. We have real reasons for managing the farms the way that we do out here, and we're using the best technology that we have available to us. And that's the message that I wanted to get out there to people and show them from the inside out who we are as the family farmers in the United States today.
I don't think I've ever even thought about the fact that there are family farms and other farms. Can you just quickly tell us the difference?
I think that's one of the big misconceptions when it comes to agriculture is the fact that 97% of all the farms in America today are family farms. And if you were to drive by our family farm and you see the big machinery and the bin site and the big sheds and everything we've got going on, to somebody who doesn't know any better, it might look like a giant corporation. But the fact is that we look different than we were 150 years ago. You know, we have big efficient machinery. We have on-farm storage, we call it. So we have big grain bins. We have big shops. We have some people that work for us. But we are still the same family farm that we were 150 years ago. And most of the farmers today are that exact same way.
Farmers work long hours. And we had to rush to schedule this interview because I understand you're about to start seeding in the fields. So how in the world do you farm? Do you set up your shots? Do you go home and just edit and upload your videos every night after working so many long hours in the fields?
You know, that's how it started for the first year and a half. I would go out and harvest. We'd start at 6 or 7 a.m. or, you know, whatever time we need to start. That changes. If you watch the videos, you'll see that that changes all the time depending on what the weather's doing and how things have gone to this point. But yeah, I would start at, say, 6 a.m. and we'd harvest and we'd work hard all day and we'd be finishing up at 10 o'clock at night, and I'd come in the house and I would edit a video for 2 hours and post it online. And it was a drain. It was difficult. It was a lot of work, but it was something that I was motivated to do because the channel had taken off and it had gotten to a point where I felt like, you know, I needed to feed the beast, as they say. I had created this monster and I was proud of it and I enjoyed doing it, and people were watching. They were excited about it. They wanted to know what was happening on the farm every day. So my wife did at-home daycare for close to 10 years. And she knew when we moved out here to the farm that it wasn't what she wanted to continue doing. She enjoyed it, loved every minute of it, but we decided that maybe she should take over the editing. We did that slowly at first, and then when we got into harvest, it was wide open. I was coming home every night, putting the SD card on the desk, and the next day at lunchtime, she had the video posted.
Wow.
Whereas now I can concentrate on the farming like I need to. And, you know, it doesn't have to be super complicated. I don't have a cameraman following me around. I don't carry a big tripod. I don't have over-the-top complicated equipment. I don't know anything about cameras. If I bump a button, I have to go back in and set it to the factory settings because I don't know how to change anything on a camera. It's not my thing. So I've got a small camera that fits in my pocket, not much bigger than my cell phone, and I've got it on a magnetic swivel. Most of the time as a farmer, I'm around some steel somewhere. I can snap that thing to it, hit record, and go to work. So
that's what I was gonna ask. It was like, how is he setting up a shot every time? I didn't know if he had one of those like flexible tripods that wrap around equipment or whatever. So it's a magnet?
it's a magnet, yeah, and then it's got like a swivel ball on it. So I loosen it up and magnetize it to something and set it where I need it to be and go to work. So it's not overcomplicated. You don't have to complicate things.
Zach, I assume you'd recommend that other farmers consider this as a part of what they do. What do you think is the biggest challenge for a farmer or a small business owner to get started on YouTube?
I think the biggest thing is that it's intimidating and people are not sure exactly how to do it. It doesn't have to be any more complicated than this right here. Hop on your cell phone. It's easy to make the account. Doesn't cost anything. You can make the video in a few minutes. And if you don't like it, you can take it down. You know, that's how I started. And I put it out there and I figured if I didn't like it, I can take it down. I can delete it. I can get rid of it. And I didn't spend a ton of time at it. I didn't make it complicated. I just put the information out there for people to see, and it wasn't difficult.
What about the objection that a lot of people have? They're just worried how their friends and family are going to react.
I still struggle sometimes with, you know, what do the neighbors think? What do people think? But overall, I mean, it's 99% positive feedback that I get. So having that positive reinforcement really lets me know that even if I'm worrying about what other people are thinking, that most people are enjoying what I'm putting out there, you know, obviously, or else they wouldn't watch it, right? So I think you can start slow and start small and see how it feels to you. And if it's not for you, maybe it's just not for you.
It's mostly in people's heads.
Yes.
Fear of what people will think. So Zach, let's talk about revenue a little bit. Obviously, only share what you're comfortable with, but how does the revenue that you make from your YouTube channel compare to what you make on the farm?
I would say that the YouTube channel has really allowed me to be able to have that other source of income to keep things going and to progress forward and really help me be able to buy my way into the farm. Because before the YouTube income, it was very difficult looking at where the farm was and saying, okay, if I'm going to take this over someday, I've got to start making some pretty big investments here into this. YouTube has given me that side income that's allowed me to say, okay, I'm going to invest in, you know, a grain bin, or I'm going to invest in this piece of machinery, and I'm going to work my way into the farm and percentage-wise just kind of keep climbing up and building my way into it. And it's done that for me. It's been huge.
Yeah, I mean, between you and your wife, you're putting in a lot of work, extra work, so I'm glad to hear it. All right, last question. Along with running the family farm, is running the family YouTube channel going to be passed along to your kids?
So we don't know where this whole thing is going to go. It's already gotten to a place that I never would have imagined it could get to just 2-3 years ago. And so I guess we're just going to have to kind of play that by ear and see where we are when the time comes.
Thanks so much for your time. I love your story. To everybody else, go ahead and subscribe to Zach's channel. You will be completely entertained and you will learn a ton about family farms.
Hey, thank you, Matt. I appreciate it.